There's a whole lot of difference between the real Jesus and the Jesus of religious traditions and expensive oil paintings. A famous old oil painting hangs in the Louvre in Paris. It tells the story of the first recorded miracle of Jesus, and it took place in the most unimaginably non-religious environment, a full-scale wedding banquet. This is water into wine. I'm sure you're all familiar with weddings, but here's something you need to know about this particular wedding. It lasted several days, and there was a bit more by the way of booze than a few gin cocktails, an ice bucket, and some slices of lime. Lots of us have grown up with the idea of Jesus as a slightly patronizing, dull, religious irrelevance. But here's an interesting question. If that's really who he was, then what on earth was he doing on the invitation list and quite possibly as an honoured guest sitting at the top table? Of all the places Jesus could have selected, this is where he goes public for the first time, in front of his disciples, his mother, and the local community. Everything is going to plan until disaster strikes. A hospitality malfunction of the highest order. The wine runs out. The father of the bride is staring down the barrel of public humiliation, to say nothing of the company that has been trusted with the catering contract. But just as the revelers are about to be given the bad news, Jesus makes his move. He tells the staff to fill 6 30-gallon containers with water and serve it up to the guests. Not a great idea. To everyone on the inside, this is a joke that really isn't very funny, but they're not exactly flushed with alternative suggestions, so they go along with the Jesus plan. And that's when the miracle takes place. As the water from the containers touches the glasses, it is mysteriously turned into wine. Needless to say, the host is pretty relieved to see the old vino flowing again. And apparently it's pretty decent stuff, not too shabbily. None other than Chateau Lafite 45 BC, and a lot of it. I've done the maths for you. It amounts to around 400 bottles of the stuff. That's the kind of wedding this is, apparently. I don't even want to imagine what the stag do was like. So there you have it. The first recorded miracle of Jesus, performed on behalf of a guy who made a miscalculation on a booze order. It challenges every stereotype and misconception about who Jesus is and what he is like. Apparently, he lives in the ordinary and not the religious. Apparently, he identifies with the scrapes and the mistakes and the misjudgments that define our lives. Maybe you're of the opinion that Jesus only exists in the quaint old stories in an old dusty Bible. Let me encourage you to think again. There's a whole lot of difference between the real Jesus and the Jesus of religious traditions and expensive oil paintings. He also did a whole lot more than replenish the bar at weddings. Jesus demonstrated the love and power of the Father, but the shadow of the cross was behind every miracle and every act of kindness. After 3 years among the people, he was sentenced to die by crucifixion by a religious court. But then, after 3 days, he was raised to life once again. And the people saw him. On one occasion, 500 of them at the same time in the same place. This is not dead religion. It is a brand new start, a new hope in relationship with a Father who loves us and longs to forgive us through what Jesus did through his life, his death, and his resurrection. Jesus Christ lived the life that we could never have lived. And on the cross, he paid a debt that we could never have paid.